So today we are going to go back over the third question of your exit ticket from last Wednesday. If you don't have your eyes on me, go ahead and put them on me now. So last Wednesday on your exit ticket, there was a CER question, and that is a CER question that's at the top here. And very, very few people got all 3 points. There are a lot of people who got 1 point, or a lot of people who got 2 out of 3. And so we want to figure out what is it about some answers that get them all 3 points, and how do we get all of our answers to that level? So Ariel, would you start off by reading the prompt, which is a student in Mrs. Barr's class?
A student in Mrs. Barr's class says that when it is summer in the northern hemisphere, it is also summer in Australia, the southern hemisphere. Because of Earth revolution, Macon justified claim about whether this student is correct.
Perfect. What you're going to do now is I'm going to give you 1 minute to read through response number 1 and response number 2. All you're doing is silently reading that. Go ahead and begin now. When you're done, give me a thumbs up. Right there, it says when Earth tilted.
Earth.
Again, thumbs up when you read both. I can tell that Paula and Jocelyn are done. 10 more seconds, finish up. Okay, now what I want you to do, again, by yourself still, is to take about 45 seconds to write down at least, at minimum, 3 things that both of these responses have in common. And what you have right next to that in that little box is a little word bank for you to think about. Those are about 6 words that at some point you should have written down, right? Those are some talking points to think about. So again, take a minute. What do these 2 responses have in common? Good, I see people talking about, they both say incorrect. Good, I'm seeing people use the word tilt in their answers. Good, most people have 2 bullet points. Go ahead and get your third. Good. I'm seeing people talking about their reasoning, their evidence. If you were done, go over to that word box, or to that word bank, excuse me, and check off how many of those words you used. You may not have used them all yet, and that's all right. How many did you use? Who used all of them? Anybody? You used 4 of them? Perfect. Okay. So, what I want you to do, in your partnerships, if you are the person with the longer hair, I want you to read your first bullet point, and then the person with the shorter hair is going to read their second point, and then you'll just keep alternating, okay? Take about 30 seconds, tell each other what you wrote. Longest hair goes first. Begin.
I think her hair is longer than you.
That works.
They both have the
Go.
same.
Give her-
Hey,
yep.
3.
Yep.
That's
Okay,
3.
go ahead.
Y'all 3.
Jocelyn, what did you write? Okay, move on. Jocelyn.
Go. I said they both said that. I think they both did something. They both used the word season in their report.
If the shorter hair person hasn't gone yet, go now.
They both said explicit in the reading.
Okay, I'm assuming that you've gone through all your bullet points because the conversations has stopped. So let's kind of gather up what we all collectively thought. If somebody says something that you did not write down, please add it to your answers as we go through this. So, Vince, what is something that both 1 and 2 had in common?
They both had the same claim.
Good. Go look at your answers, see if you said something about that. If they both had the same claim, what was their claim, Vince?
It says the student is incorrect.
Good. Okay. Now, let's hear from Vanessa. What did you say they had in common?
We both said the first ticket.
Good. See if you also said something about they both said the Aristotle. Why do you think that matters if they said that, Vanessa? Good. That's the reason for the seasons. Good. Okay, and let's hear from Lyndon. What's another thing that they had in common?
The hemisphere thing, the last sentence.
What about the last sentence?
It says, I don't know, Mama.
No, keep going. I think you're onto something. What did they both say about hemispheres?
Cause this, in response one, it says that the seasons are different in both hemispheres, but this, in response two, it says that the season is the same.
If I wanted you to say something about seasons and use the word opposite, how could you form a sentence with that?
They both said that the seasons are opposite.
Is
No,
that-
they have opposite seasons, okay.
Good. And is that true?
Yes.
Awesome. Why is that true? And what do you know about the Earth that is the reason for the seasons?
When it's a different season than one hemisphere, it's different.
Exactly. Perfect. Good. Okay. So if you did not say something about their evidence, I want you to add that now. What do you think I particularly like about both of these responses, pieces of evidence? If you don't know, take a look real quick. What do I like about their evidence? What do you think, Paula? What do I like about their evidence?
That they explained it right.
What did they explain though? Especially think about response number 2. Their evidence is a little bit unique, but I really like it. Why do you think that is?
In reality, the southern hemisphere would explain much of the tour.
So what is it that student's doing? So they've read this prompt, they're saying this student's incorrect, and then they say in reality. What about that do you think I like? And I'll come back to you. I'm gonna call it go over here and then come back, okay? Vince, what do you think?
I think you like the in reality part.
Good, why though?
Because you said something about like not using I know this because
Good, yeah, they're not using that prompt. They're kind of releasing themselves in that sentence, and that's definitely one piece. And then what else? Because what is
you the wrong and then they give you the right.
exactly okay? That's what I wanted you to key in on. Because right, if you go back up to that prompt, what did the prompt really want you to do? Make a justified claim about whether they were correct. So if you're gonna say they're incorrect, you need to tell me why are they incorrect, right? Like what did they say that was wrong? And that's what I really like about both of these answers. And that is not even what I like. That's why they both got 3 points, right? And these are the two responses in class that got all 3 points, which was because they told me why the kid was incorrect. Now what I want you to do is take a look at response number 3. And then once you're done reading it, I want you to think about what would I have added to that student's response. So you're recognizing your handwriting. Yeah. What would I have added to student number 3? Jot it down first, and then we'll talk about it in our partnerships.
I wrote it down.
They already wrote down.
Okay, go ahead and write it down. Can I see a couple people even like writing the actual sentence that would get this kid all 3 points? Good. If you haven't, I want you to write a sentence that would get them all 3 points.
Wait. So we write the thing, and then we write.
You just read it. Now write one sentence that would get them their 3rd point. Thinking about all the things that we liked about response 1 and 2. Take about 30 more seconds. Yeah, no, you're on. No. You're right. What would it need to say?
what did? Perfect, 'cause that's what we like about these, right? We just talked about that, and they said something about
Just
like
make
why
that
that kid was
literature.
wrong.
I don't know.
I don't even.
I don't wanna be mean.
Like,
I mean, I don't care.
like, this is too simple. Make this, this is the reason.
So
I mean, this is the
what did we conclude from response 1 and 2? What did we like so much? We said that.
Yeah.
And it had a specific plan. Yeah, and we said, what was it that Kayla was saying, that like, that these, both of these students did what?
The opposite.
Because what is
I
this,
forgot
what
what
is
it
this
is.
prompt actually say? Make a justified claim about whether the student is correct. Did this student say anything about why they were incorrect? So what could you add to their response then? That is an exemplary response.
I think we're just stating the incorrect and why.
So go ahead and add something, just proving that they didn't know.
Just like that. Not cool.
That's real, the only person.
Okay, what I want you to do, I want you to turn and tell your neighbor what it was that this response number 3 was missing. If you have shorter hair, you go first this time.
Say,
Go ahead, Lyndon.
shorter hair.
Okay, go. This shouldn't take more than about 5 seconds. Go ahead, Lyndon.
They just said they reason. That's what I meant to say. They didn't write. They didn't write what was wrong and what was right.
So what'd you say, Aaron?
I said, I had in each hemisphere, the seasons are different. They had a right explanation. Also, that is different.
I just told you. They didn't say why they did it wrong, and they didn't like give you an They just really gave a reason.
This was an extra Milky Way for.
Okay, y'all, let's go back together in 2 and 1. So, what is it that response number 3 didn't quite get right? Let me hear from Lyndon. What did they not have?
The reason why they're wrong.
Okay, how could you add on to that, Vince?
Because, wait, what you said? What you
The
said?
reason why they were wrong.
Oh, because then they say like what was wrong, and then like bounce back and say what was the right.
Good. So, what could their sentence sound like, Ariel, to be able to say like this student was wrong? What would they need to say?
I said, in each hemisphere, the seasons are different because of Earth too.
Right, that is what that student would need to do, is prove why that student was incorrect, right? And so whenever you see these prompts that are like, these prompts that say things like prove whether or not they're correct or not only do you need to say, are they correct, but you need to tell me why or why not, right? And so what I want you to wrap up with is, if you haven't already, fix their answer. I see about a third of us have already done that. If you haven't already, add this sentence now that would give them that third point.